Alright folks, hey, how you doing? It is Kevin here, and this is a just very off-the-cuff video, no editing, all that stuff. That's why it's on Jalen Kevin. This is a running-oriented video. It's kind of like a Runner's 101 video. And a friend of mine made a comment to me on Twitter tonight that he said, when does it stop? And I said, well, when does what stop? He's like, problems of this feet, blisters. Now blisters, they're a reality that any runner will have to deal with at some point, more often than not. There's a million reasons that cause blisters, and a lot of reasons, or a lot of things you can do to prevent blisters. First of all, shoes. Do you have shoes that fit you well? Okay, the first thing, if you're new to running and you decide that you want to start running, I will tell anyone, go out and invest in a good pair of shoes. A good pair of shoes. I'm not saying spend $1 million, but don't buy something cheap. Go out and buy a good pair of shoes. I don't know what the lot is. Now I'm going to give you the disclaimer here. I am not an expert. I've got 4 full marathons under my belt. I've got 1 ultra marathon under my belt, and a bunch of other road races and stuff. I have some experience. I'm more than a beginner, but not much more. But from my experience, you need good shoes. Okay, so drop $80, $90, $100 or more. Okay, don't buy cheap shoes. A good pair of shoes will give you the cushioning and support you need. It's going to protect your feet, your knees, your hips, all your joints, your back, you name it. Okay. Now it gets tricky, right? What kind of feet do you have? Do you have narrow feet, wide feet? Do you have flat feet, high arches? I've got flat feet. I normally wore, because I have flat feet, the Asics Gel Cayanos, or Asics as they say in Japan. But I decided to change things up, because these cost a shitload of money, pardon my French, in Japan. These are like almost Ichiman Yonsanen, which is like $160. I think in Canada these are like $220 a pair. So I moved to kind of like a bit lower level. I moved to the Asics Gel New Yorks, which gave me massive blistering problems. So they gave me great support, but huge blistering issues when I wore the Gel New Yorks. Always blisters in my insteps. So what I would do, I used to use like medical adhesive tape and like tape up my feet, tape my blisters. I'd hold up my foot and put a whole bunch of this on it, and not the best thing to do. The shoes weren't good for me. Okay, so find a good pair of shoes. At the moment I'm wearing Brooks Gel Trance. These are a bit pricey. I got these ones on sale, last year's models, for half price. These are brilliant shoes. I ran my 60-kilometer ultramarathon with these and not a blister at all. Brooks Trance are amazing. I picked them up here in Japan in Kobe. I love Brooks now. I'm a Brooks guy. Make sure that your shoes are very breathable. Good pair of shoes have a lot of mesh around them that can breathe. That's key. Your feet can breathe. They're going to be less damp. You can reduce the amount of blisters. Don't wear cotton socks. Cotton socks are bad, bad, bad. It's the same as wearing a cotton t-shirt when you run. They don't wick sweat. They just get really soaking wet and they rub, rub, rub. Cotton socks will give you blisters. You need to buy technical socks. You need to buy running socks. Go to any sporting goods shop, and they're about $10 a pair. Here are some Nike. Hold on a second. Some Nike Dry Fit, an old pair. Right says right, left tells you. I tend to wear a lot of Nike. I like Nike running socks. They tend to work for me pretty well. Here's another pair of Nike running socks. Technical fiber. They wick away the sweat. They're really good. But $10 a pair. $10, $12 a pair here in Japan. So, get a good pair of shoes. Don't wear cotton socks. Cotton socks will kill you. Okay? And at the end of the day, you need to toughen your feet up. Your feet are going to have to get tough. Your feet are going to have to get used to it. It does take time. If you're putting in a few kilometers per run, it takes time. You're going to get blisters. Now, the more serious you get about it, the sillier you get and start like putting band-aids on and taping your feet. But in the beginning, if you're new to it, just make sure you have a good pair of shoes, new pair of shoes. If you don't know anything about running, you don't know anything about your shoes, like your feet and stuff, go to a big sporting goods store and just ask some questions. Get a good pair of shoes. Get some running socks. non-cotton socks, advice, and yeah, there you go. Kevin here. See you later. Bit of beginner running news. Later.